Curbs to foreign visitors who no longer need to quarantine.
But they must be fully vaccinated to enter the country. Apart from being jabbed, all arrivals are required to show a negative PCR test obtained within 48 hours of departure from their country. They must also have a travel insurance for the duration of their stay and proof of a return ticket to leave the Philippines within 30 days of their arrival. Instead of going into isolation, they'll be asked to self-monitor.
The move comes as daily COVID cases continue to decline, with about 3,600 infections reported over the last 24 hours. The country's active case tally has also fallen below 100,000. Authorities say about 95% of infections are mild or asymptomatic.
Now, the move to reopen will no doubt offer relief for the country's tourism sector, hard hit by the pandemic. Operators have been grappling not only with a sharp plunge in foreign visitors, but tough restrictions on domestic travel as well. About 1.4 million tourist arrivals were recorded last year, down from 3.5 million in 2020 and 8.3 million in 2019. Officials are hoping the lifting of travel curbs will revive jobs, restore livelihoods, and boost economic growth.
Assistant Professor Doreen T. Rocamora tells us more about the impact of COVID-19 on the Philippines economy.
There are negative economic impacts of COVID in the Philippine tourism industry. So the tourism sector was forced to stop or downsize business operations. This is because of the travel ban, the canceled bookings, also the limited logistics. So because there's a loss of tourism-related jobs, even communities dependent in tourism have lost their livelihood and source of income in this community-based tourism. Some employees, of course, were placed on a floating status and the operations are on skeletal force. Well, for the financial aspect in the tourism businesses, such for example in the airlines, there's a cost cutting of promotions and marketing. And airlines rely now on contract workers' labor and only from website sales. Likewise, travel agencies also have done less expensive bookings and marketing. At the same time, this posed negative impact in the cost of travel because safety protocol must be in place. The drivers, the tour guides must have their antigen testing before the tour. So it adds cost to the travel such that mass tourism now is becoming more selective of those only who can afford to travel, and even for those tourists who need also to undergo antigen testing. So those are the negative impacts of COVID in the Philippine tourism industry.